spend a lot of time worrying about how tough it is for fresh grads to land jobs. And yes, it is a jungle out there. But what we don't talk about nearly enough, the quiet squeeze facing people like me, mid-career professionals in our 40s, 50s, and even beyond. We're living longer and staying healthier. But if nobody wants to hire us past 45, what exactly are we supposed to do with all those extra years? I'm in my 50s. I love what I do. But I've also seen too many friends, mentors, and peers get retrenched, sidelined, or quietly phased out. So today, we're flipping the spotlight. Welcome to Lens on Singapore. I'm Claressa Monteiro. With me to unpack this mid-career dilemma, Gloria Alini, CEO of Generation Singapore. Masni Goh, career transitions coach and founder of mindcoach.sg. And Kenneth Wong, Director of Trade and Lifestyle Division at Workforce Singapore. Now let's get into it. Let's start with a lived experience, because this isn't just theory, right? It's personal. So Masni, you've been through this firsthand. Retrenched, recalibrated, and now helping others through the same storm. What was that moment like for you, and what led you to coaching?
I got retrenched not once but twice.
Okay.
So in my life, the first time I got it was back in 2017, 2018. At that time, I was in the late 40s.
Scary time.
Yeah, but within 6 months, I got a job. So, okay, it was good. I got the money and then I got a new job. But just after COVID, I got laid off again. And that wasn't retrenchment, it was reinvention, I would say, because my skills were no longer required. They felt that they don't need me anymore in that space. So that was when anger came. And I almost went into depression because I lost my identity. I was too ashamed to feel, to tell people that I've lost my job, I'm no longer needed. My confidence was broken. Yeah, and because that happened when I'm in my early 50s. Yeah, so jobs didn't fall on my lap. Nobody came back to me for interviews or even responded to my applications. Yeah, so instead of just going deeper inside, I realized, I should move on.
That actually is something that I wonder, why is that the case? I hear that from my friends as well. I'm in my 50s, I got retrenched, nobody wants me. Either it's a story of I'm overqualified, I'm too expensive, I'm too old, but nobody wants me. And given the fact that Singapore is an aging society, I wonder why that is. And we will come to that. Thank you for sharing that so openly. Now let's zoom out a little bit. And Kenneth, I want to know, how common is Masni's experience today in what you're seeing?
So the economy is evolving very quickly, as we all know. So actually for the mid-career professionals, those in their 40s, 50s, I think they are kind of caught in the middle of the transformation, right? I mean, when they first started, maybe as a young professionals, the labor market and the industry is very different.
There were more jobs than there were
And there were more
people.
jobs, right?
Yeah.
Even as a younger professionals, there were more jobs. And the transformation during this period have moved so fast. Right, and what are the skills that you may have like 5 years ago? You may find that you need some reskilling. You may find that you're not quite sure. And actually, as mid-career professionals, you're kind of caught in between because you now have financial commitment, like you have your family, and then you're also at the same time kind of reach a certain stage of your career that maybe you feel a little bit comfortable also, right? And you might also kind of think, hey, whether should I be transiting? So then, as you are thinking about that, so actually there is a lot of you're really in the crossroad. Right, so definitely you're not the only one, and in fact, as in Workforce Singapore, we support and work with a lot of employers and workers when they face career transition, or if let's say they are being retrenched. We have to think about how we can help them to transit into a different industry. or even really, sometimes it's not just about transitioning totally out from the industry, it's also within the industry itself or even within the organization, right?
Okay, so I said earlier that I wonder why it is that employers, maybe the right word is reticent to take on an older worker for whatever reason. I mean, there are a lot of excuses. A lot of people have heard them. So let's look at it from the employer's side, Gloria. What are companies actually looking for? And where do these mid-careers or even older workers fit into what they're seeing and what they want?
Yeah, it feels that there's also a lot of evolution from the perspective of employers as well. I think in a generation, we are very fortunate to be working with a very wide range of employers. What they're looking for, actually, at the end of the day, employers are looking for similar things, right? The growth mindset, the ability for the new hire to adapt, the willingness to, especially if they are middle-aged or mid-career transitioners, how willing are they to relearn, unlearn, right? And maybe reposition themselves into something that is completely new. And the more you're able to demonstrate that during those opportunities, interviews, and so on, or even highlight that as part of your CV, the better.
So everybody should take change management courses.
That is true. That is true. And also a lot of it is in the mindset, right? Like what we were saying earlier, right? If you think that, this is how things are always being done because this was how I've always been doing it. And then now it's like, you want to do it differently? No, that's not the right way. Then it's very hard. It's really very hard.
So there is that resistance that it is a preconceived idea that employers have of older workers. But is that really the case? We come back to you. When you speak to 40-something-year-olds, 50-something-year-olds, is that mindset something that holds them back? What are they hoping for when they come to you?
Most of them, I would say they are hoping for a miracle.
I want a miracle too.
Yeah, so it's like, I want you to give me answers as to what should I do, what can I do, or what do I need to do to be employed? You need to make sure that you know, not that you know exactly what you want, but at least be more confident, because I think our confidence has been shaken. Our identity is gone. So who am I? What am I? And then that answers is within themselves, because if they have that, like what Gloria mentioned, the mindset growth, yes, I want to be able to achieve something, I need to do something.
What do you think is holding back the older workers most? You see them in different contexts, right? What is it? Is it fear? Is it shame? Is it a confidence shattering? In a word or a phrase?
I'm actually quite tempted to say that there's a lot of very positive examples I've encountered. We have people who are very hopeful. And that's really something that is very encouraging for us, like in generation, right? Because that kind of hope is not something that you can train. No matter how much behavioral skills and mindset, job readiness, curriculum that we build in, right? You cannot build that hope.
Kenneth, do you agree with that, or do you see something else?
I agree that, because actually what we see is that career transition happens all the time. It's not an exception, right? And actually, even within your own organization, maybe a lot of the mid-careers will think that, it's a big step for me to take. But actually, when we make career transition, when employers look at you, they look at your transferable skills. So I would say it's really understanding that there is opportunity. I mean, in the industry currently, we do see that there's still in growth sector like healthcare, social services, finance, professional services. They are looking for people with talent. They are looking for people with mid-career with talent, with some transferable skills that they can get, because you do have the experience, right?
One word, one phrase.
Personally, after I've spoken to people, right? So it's fear and shame. Because when that hits you, you don't know what is your next step.
Right.
And I
think fear would be first for all of us.
Yeah. And then you feel ashamed that, hey.
I go straight to anger myself. But
And at first I thought I was okay with it. When I went home, it's after the third night.
Yeah.
Then my husband really asked me whether, are you okay? That was when I broke down. Because I worked like 20, 25 years in a company. And then thank you for your service.
Okay, so now we've covered some of that, the fears, the hopes, the possibilities. Let's talk solutions. Kenneth, for those trying to retrain or restart, tell us what kind of support is actually available and what is making the biggest difference.
There are already a lot of support out there, right? And to help individuals make the conversion, we have career conversion program, right? I mean, the name itself is about helping individuals convert into different job roles. But if let's say we are talking about someone that requires to try a sector out, we also have traineeship program, right? So mid-career pathway that will help you to do that. And going forward, we are also looking into how we can help companies to redesign jobs, because we want to encourage companies to also retain talents that they are already with your firm. And what you really need to do is about redesigning the jobs of the individual, help them to acquire the skills that they need, and we will have support to that. And that supports come more from the human capital side. That means it's really to help the HR build up that capability to manage the workforce, to take in someone new from outside the sector or from individuals which currently may not have the skills, but you're willing to teach them and help them. So yeah, and if let's say you are an individual that requires some advice on what to do next, you can talk to our career consultants, right, our career coaches that will help them. In fact, we even have what we call voluntary career advisors.
I want to go back to the issue of mindset. And Gloria, this one is for you. Is adaptability something that employers are looking for? And on the other side of that question is adaptability something that is a challenge for older workers?
For sure, adaptability is something that is prized by employers. So it's not uncommon for us, for example, to have a professional coming to our boot camp. They have had 20 years solid experience as an educator, right? Primary school, secondary school, whatever. And then now they want to pivot to become somebody who is starting in tech as a data engineer, for example. How do we then help this seasoned educator to translate all those wisdom and experience gleaned from 20 years as a solid educator to then into their new role as a data engineer, right? And many a times that ability to demonstrate that during interview itself, whether it's by showing case studies or by proactively listing that as a skills that you have in your CV alone is helpful. And your second question is how that whether that is a challenge for the job seekers themselves, right? I think when it comes to adaptability, it's not, well, there are two parts to it. One is the fixed mindset versus growth mindset idea. And this is one of those concepts that are being so overly used that it loses its meaning, right? But how that actually translates is whether you are willing to put on hold your assumption about certain things, right? Especially when you're so much older, you feel that, I have 20 years of solid experience as an educator. Why do I have to be reporting to somebody who is half my age, for example, in a new workplace, right? That, to me, is adaptability as well.
Okay, but we're all Asians here. We're all Singaporeans, right? And one of the things that I will have to admit of my age group is a lot of us would have a problem answering to a younger boss. So if that was the case, you're in an interview situation, then you see somebody who's maybe 10 years younger doing the interview. How do you then carry on with that interview and still nail it? Because that's a challenge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So any words of advice there?
Let me take a stab at this, right? I can't say that I speak from experience. I have been on the other side. So I have people who are 10 years older than me reporting to me. I think for me, I try not to see the age. And I mean, to their credit, I think they are also not being overly conscious about it. What we advise our job seekers when they are putting the best of themselves at an interview opportunity is really to be very self-aware about how people might perceive you, right? So there are many cues that people are picking up, from the way you dress, to the language that you speak, to the way you present yourself. So we do try to break it down to that level just to make sure that things are a little bit leveled up.
I personally have bosses who are younger than me, And I actually don't really see that as an issue, right? In fact, when we work with companies, we are kind of like telling them to say that actually you should be looking at multi-generational type of workplaces, because in general, companies actually perform better if, let's say, they have multi-generational workplaces. So even with that, so as on my personal experience, I really don't find it a big issue. It's really about learning from each other, right? And I won't see it as, oh, I know a lot more than you. Pardon?
You're not in my age group, right?
I think I'm quite close. Yeah, and so actually the adaptability and the flexibility should come from both ways. The employers, if they are willing, they should also see that actually for mature workers, don't have the preconception that you're not able to adapt. Actually, I don't think there's an expiry date to adaptability, right?
However, there are many people out there, and I'm sure you've heard this from some of the people you train, that they do everything. They go to the upskilling courses, and all of that, and yet they're not landing the job. So going back to the employers, can we send the employers who are resistant to hiring older workers for courses? Adaptability courses from the employers side.
So for employers, we do have support. I mean, of course, for us in Workforce Singapore, we nudge them, as just now we mentioned, to kind of encourage them to think of their workforce to build a multi-generational workforce. And we do have support to encourage them to take in individuals who are skilled individuals with experience that they should see as asset. And we have seen successes. I mean, we have, I think, 56 years old homemaker that actually became an analytics engineer, right? So it seems like a big jump, but there are employers that is willing to give that opportunity and that chance. Recently, we also have Sony, right, that actually sent someone in their mid-40s overseas to their Sri Lanka office, right? At first, when we work on the program, we're thinking, not so sure whether this is suitable for mid-career because of family and stuff like that. But actually, the companies are willing to make in that investment to guide the individuals, to put them overseas, to train them.
So maybe that should be there should be a mentor program for employers.
Possible. In fact, we do have a upcoming program that will kind of holistically look into how we can support companies to be able to take on government support to help them to develop their workforce. So hopefully by making it simple for them, we call it the Enterprise Workforce Transformation Package, they will be able to be nudged to actually provide that development opportunities for the individuals.
Sometimes it's not the age itself, right? Sometimes it's what that age connotes. So I'll give two examples, right? Two learners. One learner is in our tech course, 62 years old gentleman. His last role was a CEO in a HR industry. And he's looking to pivot into tech because he wants something that is a little bit more sustained, because maybe he feels that he has plateaued in the HR sector. So the challenge that our employment team face when we are trying to pitch this CV to employer partners is this person is overqualified. And the role that they are trying to match him with, he's being trained in our cloud engineering course, right? So it is going to be a fairly entry-level or junior-level kind of role. So there is some kind of hesitation. To your point earlier, right, Claressa, there's some hesitation also from employers. Maybe the big employers, not so much, but your small SME kind of employers, they'll be a bit like, oh, can I afford the person or not? Right? That's one. And then two is like, oh, is this going to be a little bit of an overkill, right? Then on the flip side, we also have a learner, 60s also, in the healthcare sector. And for healthcare, we are training individuals to become patient service associates. So that's your frontline workers in the clinics. So it is quite demanding on the body, and sometimes it's not so much about the age as it is about like, are you mobile? Are you able to move around comfortably? So again, to me, the more we try to dig into the objections or the hesitations from employers, the more we realize that, oh, actually it's not as simple as just an age thing.
I just wanted to add on to that. We are talking about reskilling, upskilling. We overlook the emotions and the mental fitness of that person who is going through this. That's a transition that many has overlooked, I would say.
Actually, I should ask that question. There's a lot of support to try to put somebody who has what was the term that you used? I forget. Involuntarily
Unemployed.
unemployed. That one.
Not my term, I have to credit.
Terms like that just, do not stick in my brain because I'm too stubborn.
At our age, we call it voluntary or involuntary retirement.
Right. Okay. But there are a lot of schemes to help, anyone from mid-career to older to pivot, to reskill, to upskill. Now, is there anything that we do for people in that position that cares for their emotional and mental well-being as they are going through this transition, looking for that next job?
Yeah, so most of the people that I work with, I don't think they have challenges in terms of their experiences and their skills. Of course, upskilling and reskilling is something that, okay, fine, I'll do it. But like what I said earlier on, when you have to face the fear and the shame, you have to go and beat that before, okay, I'm going to go to SkillsFuture and then check what are the courses available.
True.
So that first step is definitely crucial. That's one of the reasons why I actually set this up, to tell everyone out there that you are not alone. To go through this emotionally and mentally, I'm always there to support. So that's something that I feel, if we are clear, we have more clarity on emotional and mental, I would say fitness, that would really help.
But I would also say that once maybe these individuals find enough agency in them, right, to then enroll in courses, right, it also doesn't mean that it's smooth sailing from there. You enroll in your course, and many of these people have left school like ages ago. So sometimes people also feel that, wow, I probably didn't make the right choice because, and especially when they're pivoting into a completely new sector, right? And that's why we are working a lot with counselors. We have counseling partners so that we are able to also refer individuals to professional help. Not even talking about the uncertainty about the job search itself. After you graduate 3 months, some people are like, yes, I'm ready for a new job, right? And then you wait 1 month, 2 months, 6 months. Why is it that there's no job yet coming to? So that again, you have another round of whirlwind emotion.
Okay, so Kenneth, I'm not sure if this falls in the remit of Workforce Singapore.
Yeah, actually we do. We do have career coaches to support in helping them understand. We have partners to do that as well, right? That we work with to actually extend our reach to job seekers that require the help. And they do come in for career advisory and coaching, increasingly so, in fact, even when they are currently maybe employed. But maybe they're thinking about career transition, right? They don't necessarily need to be out of job before they come and seek help. So, in fact, we encourage individuals to think through, plan for their career, and if they need help, there are many coaches and our partners and our volunteer career advisors to provide that advice to them. So these are the emotional support that they can also go to.
Sometimes when we talk about career coaching, it feels that it is a luxury. For us, we support vulnerable individuals, and some of these people, right, are people who have never even understand the idea of coach beyond football coach. Like career coach, what is that, right? So I think that is also something that we need to keep a close eye on, right? Because otherwise, the whole idea about career coaching is so prohibitive that even when you provide it for free, right, they'll be like, oh no lah, this is for like those people who are working in CBD, not for me, because I work blue collar jobs, for example.
Here's the thing: Reinvention isn't just for 25-year-olds in co-working spaces sipping oat lattes. For those of us with a bit more mileage, it's about staying relevant, building resilience, and refusing to fade quietly into the background. So whether you're learning a new skill, navigating a career pivot, or just figuring out what's next, don't buy the idea, and I've heard this from all three of them, don't buy the idea that your best years are behind you, because they're not. And if you're in transition, you're not alone. There is support. There is space for you. And yes, there is still time. This has been Lens on Singapore. I'm Claressa Monteiro, still here, still working, still learning. Thank you to my speakers today, and thank you for listening.